I want to talk about the fundamentals of dog training a little bit more. I think it's important to understand those. So we obviously like to use food when we train dogs, if that's possible. But 40 to 50% of dogs do not respond to food rewards.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And yet many people don't know that. Huh? So everybody thinks they can always use treats to train a dog. That is not so. So with 40 to 50% of dogs, that is not going to work. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your dog. It just means your dog is motivated by other things. And we just have to adjust our training method.
Yeah.
It also doesn't mean that the dog would not be trainable. You hear this sometimes. Is the dog trainable, yes or no?
Yeah.
Every dog's trainable. You just have to find the right motivation for him to participate in training. That's really what the art of dog training is about and what the skill comes in.
Interesting.
So in terms of the ways we can motivate our dog to cooperate, there are basically 4 ways to go about that.
Okay.
And food would be the first one.
Okay.
So food obviously is the easiest if your dog goes for that. The second one would be a toy or prey item. Could be a tennis ball, something like that. A handler praise, or generally giving your dog affection, petting him, things like that, would be another option. That by itself is most of the time not enough for sustained cooperation.
Okay.
But it's usually a nice addition. The fourth option is not so friendly, but it's force.
Oh.
Using correction. And it becomes for the dog more about avoiding something he doesn't like versus getting something he might like.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit more
Yeah,
because I
please.
think it's important. And so the first thing, if we want to train a dog, we try food. It's the nicest thing, it's the easiest thing. And if that works, great. If
It's
it
the tastiest thing.
is the tastiest thing, exactly. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, the first step should be trying to create a food motivation. So we can restrict the food intake of our dog a little bit, skip breakfast, skip dinner, and train before that. See if that works. If that doesn't work, we could take the entire food ration of our dog and just feed it during a training session.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah,
It's like a
that's-
great way to bond with your pet.
Exactly.
Like more time.
It is a wonderful way to bond with your pet. You hand feed him basically everything. And he becomes interested in training more. And the other thing that's about this as well when it comes to treats, not all treats have the same value to a dog. You need to find something that has a high value for your dog.
Okay.
So he might respond to one treat and not respond to another. And a high food reward, a high value food reward that I use is freeze-dried chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, dogs generally seem to like that. Works on a lot of dogs. Sometimes I use moist treats as well, little moist nibbles. You can buy them in pet food stores.
Okay.
Just get something natural without preservatives and without byproducts and things like that.
Yeah.
So something healthy. I've even gone to the extent of boiling organic chicken for a dog for a training
He
session.
really cares. He
Yes,
does.
I do. And it does work. And in case you're watching Octavius, you're welcome. That was his name. That was the guy who got who got the cooked chicken from me for a training session.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it was a great guy. But if none of that works, at the end of the day, let's talk about force a little bit more. Because I think people are, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Huh? So in terms of force, what we're talking about is using correction. And we mean proper correction, something a dog can understand as a correction, not violence of some sort. Obviously, we don't want to abuse our dog.
No.
Yeah, of course not. But sometimes that's the only thing that we can do is to give a correction that he understands as, oh, no, I don't like this.
Okay.
And it becomes about avoiding that correction versus working for something he doesn't seem to care for in the first place. Force actually used to be the traditional training method. In the 1960s, it's all everybody was using. It was the one established dog training way. And we've come a long way since then.
Okay.
We're certainly doing other things today, but it's just important to understand sometimes to go back to that. And you still see that sometimes today in protection dog training, in police dog training. You will still see correction applied in training a lot because it produces results, and it, generally speaking, always works, while food does not. So it's a more reliable training method, although I guess we can agree not the most pleasant way of going about things, but it does work. And it's generally referred to as the Kohler method.
Okay.
That was the guy. It was also used by the Disney trainers.
Cola?
Kohler.
Oh,
Kohler.
Kohler. Okay.
Yeah, Kohler. I think he was the guy who wrote the first book about it, documented it or something like that. But it's the Kohler method of training. It's using correction to basically avoid correction to cooperate.
Okay.
And it was used by Disney. It was used by others. It was very, very broad spread.
And animal actors?
Animal actors, yeah, were exposed to it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I'm not sure they chose that method.
Yeah,
of
we're
being
on a
trained.
budget.
We're on a budget. Yeah. That I'm sure that happens too, but that wouldn't be the right. It should be really by what the dog responds to, not by our personal convenience of just taking a shortcut. That's at least my view. Yeah, so that would be the basics about training.
Thank you.
You're welcome.